this is Adam Wolf, physical therapist. Today I wanted to share with you some strategies to improve the length and strength of the posterior flexibility highway. I don't think of things in terms of muscles because the body doesn't know what a muscle is. The body knows what movement is and how to control it. And so that posterior chain of muscle starts on the bottom of my foot and runs up through my calf into my hamstrings, into my glutes, erector, lumbar, spine, erectors, lats, all the way into the epicranial fascia on the top. And so in isolation, those muscles, or a shortening phase, would create extension moments, except at the knee. And then in integration, it's going to control flexion moments, except at the knee. Okay? And so when I think about the body in terms of new and old systems, or flexors versus extensors, people that have pain tend to have inhibitions or delayed timing to the ability of the muscles to contract. And the other thing that I think about is Moshe Feldenkrais, who talked about introverts have extensor inhibition. And what I mean by that is because of our sedentary society and being so flexed most of the time, the back posterior muscles in the body become lengthened and less connected to the system oftentimes. And so the ability to strengthen and lengthen the posterior chain of muscles together is quite important. For me, the stretcher, or more static way that I would stretch the posterior chain of tissues, I can do it with my foot on the ground or up here, but I like to get a hamstring stretch, what we would consider a traditional hamstring stretch, where we're in this position. The whole back is lengthened, and I can get into this position here where I'm lengthened. So this one's pretty common to lengthen that entire posterior chain together. We can take that a little bit more active and make it more of a dynamic movement by doing a posterior lunge, or what I call an active hamstring stretch, and that would look like this. And this is a good one for me for people that are looking to try to engage those posterior muscles a little bit within an integrated spectrum. This is oftentimes a good way to do it. Now, the posterior muscles oftentimes need to be strengthened more so than the anterior muscles, which oftentimes need to be lengthened a little bit. And so one of the exercises that I like to do that's a little bit more dynamic, even so, is what I call a sagittal plane pivot. So I can do a forward lunge, which lengthens the anterior flexibility highway, and I can take that right into a posterior lunge, and that's a posterior flexibility highway. So oftentimes I'll go through some of these type of motions, whether I'm holding a medicine ball or a viper or a light dumbbell in my hand to sort of overload that system. And so the posterior flexibility highway, it's a powerful strategy to enhance the entire chain of tissue. Remember that most times though, people have limited ability to engage those muscles, and in my opinion, a lot of times they need to be strengthened. The glutes, the hamstrings, the lats, the paraspinal muscles, a lot of times need to be strengthened. And so we can't overlook the fact that we do need to make sure that the system is balanced in terms of the front of the body to the back of the body, and in terms of length-tension relationships. And so again, this type of position, these muscles oftentimes become short, more connected to the nervous system. The longer muscles oftentimes become less connected to the nervous system, and so balancing that out becomes important. So for more discussion on this, check out my website, adamwolfpt.com, and hopefully this spurs some discussion. Check out our other blogs on the other flexibility highways as well. Thanks.